Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Maybe This Will Help. I am Von Vado, Oswald to St. Oswald, Christopher to my grandma, my sister, and my mom. And today I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about energy, how we fill ourselves up with it, how we can exchange it with others, and what it means to us. So, the first thing I'd like to talk about is that we now know that we have like a life force inside of us. We need energy to live, and we can fill ourselves up with it. If, good times, like going to a movie or having a really good time with friends and stuff, we leave feeling energized. And that's because by having good times, by doing good things for ourselves and whatnot, it fills us up with energy, and we thrive off it. That's our life force, our prana. I'm trying to think of other synonyms for that right now, but I'm blanking. But I like calling it energy. Positive or negative, energy is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transmuted or changed. It can be turned into something else, but it can't be destroyed. That's not really important to what I want to talk to you today about, but it's a good thing to know. Anyways, we need energy. We need life force. We need prana. And it's an invisible thing. A lot of us don't even know that we have it. We don't realize that we're coursing it through us, that we're giving it off, that we're giving it out, that we can put it into other people. We sometimes feel drained of our energy, and we all have felt that, but we don't quite understand. I don't think that we've made the connection that it's an energetic thing. And so I guess the place to start would be that when you're an unconscious person, as I was for the majority of my life, you don't realize that energy is even a thing. You don't understand that you need it. You don't understand when it's gone. We have like a basic concept of it, but we don't understand that it's a tangible thing that we can kind of control. And so we don't create it within ourselves. We get it, like I said, from going out with friends, from going to the movies, from doing fun external things. And that brings us some life force, but it's not quite the same as filling your own cup. And when we're unconscious, we can steal it from other people. So let's say you don't get enough from going out. You haven't been out in a while. It's winter. It's dark and dim. We haven't gotten any sunlight. We haven't had a real good conversation in a while to fill our cup. Then we may resort to stealing it from others. And a lot of people that I talk to have this happen to them in their lives, where they're like, I don't understand why this person's being so mean to me right now, or whatever. But what it is it's a survival reaction. We need energy to live, to have energy, and so even negative energy will fill us up. It'll get us going. So a lot of people will use a control drama, and that can be explained a lot more in the Celestine Prophecy. It's the same book, two different covers, by James Redfield. I talked about it yesterday. It's a fantastic book. It's written in a fictional story, but all the principles are super real and true. And I suggest checking it out. It's very cheap on Amazon. I think you can get it for like $6 shipped to you. And if you're really hard up for cash or something, get a hold of me, because I've got extra copies I can mail out to you. Anyways, it explains that there's control dramas, and the way that we can fill ourselves up with energy is by stealing it from somebody else. And if you think about interactions you've had with people, sometimes you leave feeling drained, sometimes you feeling good. And even in my own life, when somebody did something to piss me off, and I'm texting them and I say, oh, you did this and this and this, and then they respond with something else, even if it's like an argument and it's not positive energy going back and forth, I feel charged up, I feel alive, I'm cleaning, I'm thinking, I'm typing, I'm waiting for the response. I feel alive, I feel like I got lots of energy. And I feel like that we need to keep that in mind about other people when they are doing this to us. They may be just unconsciously trying to grasp for some energy. They're so unconscious that they think that they're mad, but really what they're trying to do is steal some of our life force, steal some of our energy just so that they can have a little bit. Especially people that have had an incredibly tired time in life and have a lack mentality and haven't controlled their thoughts. Their energy is constantly depleted because they need negative energy just doesn't fill us up so much. So if you're having people in your life, affecting you in this way that you feel drained, don't feel like you hate them or anything like that. It doesn't mean you have to be with them, but that's what they're doing. They're vampiring your energy for themselves because they don't know how to create it for themselves and they have nothing good going on in their life to be able to bring in good positive energy, or because they're so negative, the positive energy doesn't quite fill them up enough. And they have to resort to this other energy, what feels good at the time, And maybe it doesn't feel great to them, but it's still something. It's still emotion. It's still life force. And prana you can also get from food, but you can fill your own cup. I don't know if that's in this book or if I got that from somebody else, but I really like it. That's how I refer to it. Is you fill yourself up with love. You fill yourself up with self-love. And then you have an unbridled amount of energy. I feel what I call high on life a lot of the time when I'm filling myself up with this, when I'm doing good things for myself. And I'm just zinging. I have so much energy that I can just give it out freely because I can make my own. And you see people react differently when you've got this your own energy. And another quote about that was, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so, if you find yourself kind of drained and stuff, then, maybe you're giving too much away. Maybe you haven't figured out how to create a full abundance yet. Maybe you can create some for yourself, but you haven't gotten to that point yet. So it's okay to not interact with people that are going to suck your energy or whatnot. And it's also okay to say, hey, there's this theory that I heard that, you need your life force energy. And by doing this to me, you're kind of sucking my energy and I don't have as much to give right now. So, try and work on filling your own cup and then come back and maybe we'll have a better friendship or a better exchange. So, like I said, to fill your own cup is really simple. And maybe it takes a little bit of meditation or a breakthrough or something like that before you can truly do it. But it starts with just doing little good things for yourself. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Take a class that you've always wanted to take. Go to a free club. There's lots of cool things out there. I go to Toastmasters. I always leave that place just brimming with energy because it's all just positive culture. It's all positive energy. Everybody's giving it so freely there because everybody wants to be there. It's an exciting place to be. I also heard of a thing at the Western University that anybody, not even university students, can join the Outdoors Club, where they just meet once a week and they do something outdoors. It's not even a specific thing each time. But what a great way to share energy with a bunch of like-minded individuals, and you usually leave those kind of places feeling uplifted. And people that are seeking these kinds of things are filling their own cups. So everybody shares this good energy, and you can suddenly accept energy from others without it draining you, or without you having to give it away, or without you having to steal it from them. So now that we know that energy is a tangible thing and that we can fill our own cup and that others can steal our energy from us if we let them, and that some people are still unconscious about energy, that they will go to extreme lengths depending on their level of consciousness to try and suck our energy. And it doesn't just necessarily have to be a verbal attack or something like that. It can be a poor me. It can be interrogation. It can be any sort of battling somebody in a conversation, argument, debate. It can even seem logical, but it can be an energy steal if you're not aware of your thoughts, if you're not conscious, if you're not filling your own cup with your own energy, so you don't need their energy. The last thing I want to say about energy is that you can put it into other people. You can put your energy into other people. If you can steal life force from somebody, or somebody can steal life force from you, and if you can fill yourself up with it, that means that you're giving energy to other people, people around you that you don't even realize it. A friend of mine was just in the airport. She talked about how it's very easy to be frustrated there. People are waiting a long time. They got long flights to catch. It is kind of a Mickey Mouse operation sometimes, seemingly. And it's such a mass amount of people in there that all the energies are affecting each other. And a lot of people end up negatively minded, and they're trying to draw other people into it, like, oh, isn't this terrible or whatever. Well, if you give that back to them, then they're going to feel justified in that, and they're going to be carrying around even more of this negative energy, and they're going to feel good about it. But you can also put positive energy into them, and it doesn't mean you have to be like hey man, don't be negative, this is the way or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, but this, or I don't want to participate in the negativity, and they'll feel it. They'll feel the energy. They'll get a little bit of you're giving them a little bit of your positive energy, and that'll affect them in a way. They may not understand it, they may reject it, they may not even know that it's there, but you're doing it. And it's the same with negative energy. So let's say one of these energy vampires comes into your life and tries to suck it from you unconsciously. Well, you can, choose to just avoid them, which is fine. You can choose to, or they can suck you in, they can react. They're getting your energy, and you're giving them hate back. They're putting out hate, and you're giving them hate back, and they're going to feel energized by it because they're getting your energy. They're winning that energy war, and they don't even know what it is. Whereas if you can maintain in yourself and you understand how much energy you have, then you can say in a loving way, like, look, I don't agree with your opinion, and I don't want to put something negative back towards you. But if you're going to, find a way that works for you to say just something positive, something nice, to put a little bit of your energy out into somebody. And, you may be very mad at that person, but think of this. If that person is unconscious and they're just sucking energy from whatever source they can, by you giving them love, by you giving them energy, because you're producing it for free now, you can give them lots. Maybe not all of it, or maybe not for a long time, but that's going to affect all the people in their lives now. Whereas if you give them negative energy, that's going to affect all the people they come into contact with. So if you are a person who has kids and a family and coworkers, and somebody puts a bunch of negative energy into you, then you go out and you unconsciously kind of put that into all these other people that you come into contact with. And a lot of the times, the people we love the most get the worst end of the stick because we're so comfortable with them, and we know how to steal their energy because we're so intimate and close with them. So to put love into them and uplift them and try and put some of this positive energy into them, maybe even explain to them the difference between the energies, then now they're going with a better understanding of how they're affecting other people. And now you've put a positive. I've seen this in my own life just from doing these videos and talking to people. It's already starting to spiderweb out. And it's so cool because, like one of my friends, I just did it because I love that person, and now I see it seeping out into people that I haven't even met through them. And that's going to continue. And if I was an unconscious person who didn't understand energy, I would have just let them negative self-talk themselves, and I would have just agreed with them, I would have played along, I would have tried to make them feel better, but deep down the energy, I would have just been stopping them from trying to drain my energy pretty much. I would have been like kind of defending it. It would have been my way of keeping my energy by just like beating around the bush or letting them think what they want, and they would have been all unconscious, and they would have and that would have seeped out into these same relationships in a negative way. So remember that when you're angry towards somebody or you put hateful energy out, you're not aware of what energy you're putting out into the world, then it's seeping further than just that person. It's affecting more than just that person, and we're all important. We all, in that aspect, if all of our actions are important to the whole world because of how interconnected we are. And the things with like the internet, now we can spread our energy and our ideas so far. We see that with trolling. These people are electronically trying to steal people's energy. They get a charge out of getting a charge out of other people. And the more we spread just understanding. It doesn't mean you have to always be positive or never be blunt or something like that. You just have to find a way to present it with good energy, this self-love energy that you filled yourself up with, that's getting you by. Teaching other people how to do it, because that's what's good. It seeps out in the exact same way that negativity seeps out. It changes the culture into a positive culture instead of a negative culture. And it's super, super important that we start connecting with our own energy. I don't know how many of you out there have felt it, but when you're meditating, and even just when you're not meditating, like just thinking about one body part, do you feel it start to tingle? I can. Even before, when I wasn't fully into this stuff, or even enlightened, I was only slightly awakened, I guess. I can move it in a wave up and down my body. I'm doing it right now, just thinking about it. Just thinking about my hand starts to tingle more than the rest of my body. And you can feel what's relaxed and what's not relaxed in your body. And like sometimes doing a meditation, you're like, oh, it's like relax your shoulders. And you're like, my shoulders are relaxed, but you breathe in and you breathe out. And you realize, wow, I can actually relax my shoulders a lot more than I thought. And, oh, wow, I can almost feel that organ that I'm trying to relax right now. And you start to be able to, you're like, and I can even be like, okay, I'm going to radiate energy right now. And you can, like, feel it coming off you. And I don't know how many of you have had an experience like that, or even just a small experience of like I said, feeling about a limb and having it tingle or have a sensation or whatever. But that's our energy field. It's scientifically measured that we have energy fields. We have a big one that starts here and it goes way up and it comes all the way down. It comes down around our feet and then it comes back up and it meets in our heart, and that's called a toroidal field. And there's also another smaller electromagnetic field that comes off our heart that just it's just like a separate one that goes inside, and it's just about that big. And like there's energy healing, there's all sorts of really crazy energy things that are scientifically measurable now that proves this stuff to be true. So your homework or your mission is to try and become aware of your own energy. And then once you do that, try and fill your own cup. Try and fill yourself up with energy without needing an external source to give you any energy. And be aware that unconscious people are just people too. We have no idea what they went through, why they are the way they are, and they're just desperate for some life force. They just want some prana, and we can live through food. We can get enough prana to live through food, but to actually feel excited, to actually feel up, to get some emotion going, we need negative or positive energy inside of us. We need to be filled up with it. And so, just have compassion for those people, and maybe you just say one nice thing to them, while they're trying to steal it from you, you just say, look, this is what's going on right now, or this is what I believe is going on right now. You don't have to accept that, but I accept that that's what you're trying to do. And if you don't want to change, that's cool. I'm going to maybe not hang out with you as much, or I'm not going to talk to you, or when we talk, I'm going to be a lot more blunt about this because I don't want my energy stolen, and I feel you draining me, or I feel you getting more extreme and you're trying to drain me. But just, you don't have to go that far. Find your own way to do it, but don't really become aware of what you're putting into that other person. Because if you can find a way to put love in them, or even a little bit of understanding, or just to have compassion and understanding for an unconscious person, they're not any less than you because they're unconscious. They're just on a different path. They haven't learned the things yet. Maybe they haven't gone through. Maybe they're going through the suffering they need to go through right now to become enlightened. But if you're just giving them hate, then they're not gonna become enlightened. They've got to learn their lesson somewhere else. And so yeah, energy is super important. Become aware of your own. Try and put good stuff out to you. You can fill your own cup with self-love, with love. You don't need external things to fill you up with these energies. And when you get the external things that make you happy and fill you up with energies, like a really good time, when you're already full of cup, then you're really vibing. Then you really start vibing high, and it just becomes a super better thing. You feel so grateful and joyful, and the whole experience becomes a whole different thing. So have compassion for people. fill yourself up with own love. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if someone drains you and you can't help them, then that's not your job. It's not your responsibility. You can't help people that don't want to help themselves. And they'll come around. The universe is pushing us all into this remembering what we used to know, awakening period of our lives, and their time will come when they're in the place and the information will come to them, and you just do your part and just love yourself and give as much of that energy as you can to other people, and that will spread into all of their interactions. There's a movie that's called Crash. It won an Oscar or whatever. It's kind of about that, how what you do to somebody can affect multiple people down the timeline without you even being aware of it. And I've even seen that in my own life. Somebody really makes me angry in the past, and then I go and I lash out at somebody else, or I form an opinion or something out of anger, out of frustration, and that seeps into my friends and it seeps into my interactions. Whereas now that I have the loving thing, I see all of my interactions with people affecting positive change or help, and probably stuff that I don't even know about yet. But so anyways, please, it's very important to become aware of your energy at least, and to at least try and concept that and try your hardest to understand people and know that we're not any better than anybody else just because they're more unconscious than us, or that they're energy vampires or whatever. That's just part of their journey, and we need to accept that. So, later days, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope, and probably. I love you so much, and goodbye, farewell, good night, yeah.